No, this is not a figment of your imagination. I am back. I need that Eminem song. Guess who's back? Back again. Me. Hello. Hello, and welcome to episode 32 of the Country Bumpkin Creates podcast. It's been a while. I've just looked 10 months since I did my last one. I didn't think it was that long. My name is Lucy. For those of you who are new or who haven't seen me for a while, I live on a holiday park on the outskirts of Dartmoor, down in deepest, darkest Devon. I knew that would happen. I've shut the door and the cat's meowing outside the door now, but she can wait. I'm in a new location in the house. I've got into quilting, patchwork and quilting in a big way. And I was trying to do it out where I used to record out there. And it was just a nightmare because the cat would just lay over, one cat in particular, would just lay over everything that I had left out that I was working on and stuff. So it was an absolute nightmare. So the husband used to have this room with a model railway in it. It got to the point where he'd done as much as he could on the model railway and was getting a bit bored with it. So he dismantled that. He'd built it to come apart anyway. So he dismantled that, put it in his dad's house. I'm pointing that way because his dad's house is literally there next door. So that's over in his dad's now. And he's started like another little layout that's like a portable layout. So he's got my old sewing desk in the, call it the dining room because that's what it used to be, but it's like the through room to the living room. Our house is laid out a bit weird. So I could then have this room, which my yarn was always in here anyway. My yarn and I've got another Kallax unit there with all like other craft. That was pleasant. Bingo wing flapping around there. Missed me, haven't you? So yeah, so my yarn was always in here anyway. But now I have, like here in front of me, I need to do a proper tidy up in here, and then I can do a little tour video. We got three of the 4 Kallax cubes and put 2 side by side like that, and then 1 on the end. And then Nigel put MDF on the top and the bottom and put wheels on the bottom. So I've now got like a proper cutting table, and I tell you what, it is a game changer, absolute game changer. And then I've got like a desk here with my sewing machine on it, a little bookcase over there, and some pegboards and stuff. Yeah, so that's been, you know, a majority of my focus has been, and like I say, I don't do anything lightly, you know. If I'm gonna do a new hobby, then it's all in. But if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen on over the bank holiday weekend. Today is Thursday the 13th of April, so we just had Easter long weekend here in the UK, so that means Friday was a bank holiday and Monday was a bank holiday. I worked Friday and Saturday, so on Sunday and Monday I spent the day sewing a Marnie top by Tilly and the Buttons, which you will have seen if you follow me on Instagram, because I did some stories on the sewing of it, and that's what got my recording mojo back. Hence, I am with you today. It's taken me a few days to get up the courage to come back, but back I am. And this may end up being a long-ish podcast, and I know not everybody's interested in sewing and quilting, so what I thought I might do is, don't hold me to this because it might not happen depending on what content I've got, is like do a knitting podcast. Like today will be predominantly is knitting, and then possibly in 2 or 3 weeks time I'll do one of what I'm working on with my quilting and any garment sewing, which hasn't happened for a while. The Marnie top was the first thing I've done in a long time, but again that's reignited the spark of what I want to get back into sewing and making some of my own clothes. Because the reason I did the Marnie, there's a moral to this story, is we are going on Sunday, we're heading up to London, and then Monday we are going to Amsterdam for 4 days. It's my birthday on Monday. I will be the grand old age of 47. How did that happen? How did I get to 47? Anyway, I will be 47 on Monday, so we are going. I'm going to go and visit Stephen West for my birthday. Not that Stephen West knows. If anybody's got a direct channel to Stephen West and is watching this, can you just message him and ask him if he's going to be in his shop on Monday afternoon? Thanks. Yeah, so we're getting the Eurostar direct from St Pancras, direct. Going as train passengers, not taking the car. We're going as train passengers straight to Amsterdam, and it's like just over 3 hours. And it was cheaper than flying, which is nice. We've never been on the Eurostar. I've never been on the Eurostar as a train passenger. I've been on a coach, so I've done like the drive on, drive off bit. So I'm really looking forward to that. I will be drinking quite a bit through this. Ever since I had COVID in September, October time, and ever since then I've had my throat is really dry most of the time, so I have to keep lubricated. So I will be drinking. So apologies if drinking noises annoy you, but tough. Other life news? Have I got any other life news? Not really. Still working at the Tesco. Haven't really been anywhere other than I've done a few yarn shows. Where did we go? Last September we did the Southern Wool Show. Really enjoyed that at Newbury Racecourse. Rachel and I went up on the train for the day. And then we did... Where did we go in February? Unravel at Farnham. That was a really lovely weekend. We rented a house. It was me, Rach, Sophie and Rachel's mother-in-law, Jan. Hello, ladies. We had a few cocktails on a Friday night. Got a little bit tipsy. And then on the Saturday we went to the show. And then we went out to dinner with the lovely John and Claire from Bird Street, so that was really nice. Really nice to get and sit and chat with them without the busyness of a show or flock. Or oh yeah, we've had a flock as well. And there is another flock on the 13th of May. I'm sure it's the 13th. I can't check because I'm recording on my phone and that's my diary's on my phone. I'm sure it's the 13th of May. There's another flock, but if you're interested, it's held in Bristol and it's like a knit and natter afternoon on a Saturday, and Claire and John vend their yarn, and I think it's Pixie Yarns is coming this time as well. Don't hold me to that. I'm sure it's Pixie Yarn. Yeah, and it's a really lovely fun afternoon. It's about an hour and a half drive for us, just over. But it's well worth every single mile, and yes, nice to catch up with everybody. So that's happened. We haven't been anywhere, don't think. No, haven't been away. Hence we're going away. Oh yeah, that's where I started on the Marnie, wasn't it? I made the Marnie because we're going to Amsterdam and I wanted to wear it. I wanted to wear it while we were away. And then there's other stuff that I want to make because we've booked a week's holiday in Rhodes in September. So that'll be lovely. I've never been to any of the Greek islands, so really looking forward to that. I'm sure we'll go other places in between. I've got a week's holiday over our wedding anniversary in June, so we may just go and do a few days away. Got my hair cut. I had 8 inches cut off my hair a couple of weeks ago. Still trying to get used to it, but we'll get excuse me. Yeah, I'm liking it. Seems to have brought out more of the silver since I've had it cut, which is really nice. That's it really. I can't think of anything else. That's really, I haven't had any life changing. No, nothing. Should we get on with the show? Got quite a few FOs, as you can imagine. I have more, but they are special baby gifts, baby knitting for our little friend Bex, this baby boy who is due in June. So when we go to Flock, I have lots of little teeny tiny knitted items. I like baby knits because they go really quick, but I can't show you because they are gifts. And what I will do is, before I wrap them and take them to Bex, I will do a little video, and then next time I record a knitting podcast, I can fit it on the end. So it's always nice to see different baby knits, isn't it? You know, people tend to do the tried, you know, true and tried, but I've done a few different ones that I've never tried before. So first FO is this. This is the Summer Sorrel t-shirt with these lovely like, I don't know what they call them, like dip stitches in, and the yarn is Golden Hour by Bird Street Yarn. This is going to be a bit of a Bird Street Yarn heavy, so if you're playing a drinking game you might be slightly sloshed by the end of it, but it's only because we love John and Claire. Yes, we do. So this is, yeah, like I say, Golden Hour, which is in their autumn collection, and it's lovely. So you knit it, that's what it's like on the stockinette side, so you can see the colour. So it's knit the other way around, so you're not purling all the time, you are actually knitting, and then you wear it inside, effectively inside out. But when I blocked it, the neckline was like out here. I don't know what had gone wrong, but it was almost like falling off my shoulder. The neck was that wide, so it was like out here. So that's why it's a bit bunchy here, I think, because what I've had to do is I've crocheted all the way around the inside of the neckline to bring it in so I could actually wear it, because I couldn't wear it as it was before. So yeah, I think that's why it's a bit bunchy here, and possibly because I've knit the wrong size, but who cares, because I don't swatch. I don't swatch because it's boring, and swatches lie. I do. So I roughly know my gauge, and I would knit like a bigger size anyway, and you know, who cares? I like it, and that's all that matters. So that is the Summer Sorrel by the pattern is by Wool and Pine, and like I say, it's Golden Hour by Mr. B. Sorry, Bird Street Yarn. It'll always be Mr. B's yarn. I don't think I'm ever going to get that out of my head. The next thing I finished was the Twist and Turns Mystery Knit Along, which was this last year's mystery knit from Stephen West. So it's started off in the middle with these like loopy bits that you then pulled down. The yarns are let me see if I can get a good representation. There we go. So this main colour is Tart by Bird Street. The contrast colour is Burlesque on their zebra base. I thought I'd go zebra just to like, I've never used the zebra base before and I really like it. It just brings a different dimension. And then the spearmint is one from Bellica Yarns. And I bought this yarn at the Southern Wool Show and I could not narrow down what colour I wanted to do because you had to have two, like a main and a contrast and then an accent colour. I knew it would be pink, but I didn't know in what way it was going to be pink, because pink is for life, not just for Valentine's Day. So, and then Rach and I went and sat outside and had some lunch. We were having lunch or a snack or something, and Rach brought a water bottle out, and it was this colour. And I was like, Rach, and that's the colour I want. That's got to be in it somewhere. So we went back in, and Bellica was one of the first stores we came across, and it was just like, oh my god, that is meant to be. So then we went across to Bird Street because I knew I wanted some Bird Street in there somewhere as well, and John helped me pick out the other two colours that went with it, and it's like a big blanket of joy. There was like a weird flappy bit that you that was like an add-on here, and I was like, no. Sophie from Pixie Yarns had a sample on her, well, that's somewhere else we went, Stitch Fest near Abbott. She had a sample of it on her stall at Stitch Fest with finished off like this, because mine wasn't finished at that point, and I was like, yeah, that's made up my mind, I'm not doing that weird flappy bit. It was like a really weird, it just sort of like covered, it just went across the bottom of like that spearmint bit there, so it just like hung down. It was like a bit odd, even for Stephen West it was a bit odd. So we didn't do that. This was a lot of knitting, a lot. And then this bit I had to knit twice because I can't read a pattern and I didn't do enough repeats, and I'd already started this bit which picked up along here, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I went back and read the pattern. I was like, that's why it makes no sense, because I didn't do enough repeats. I'm blaming the menopause. Everything gets blamed on the menopause at the moment. I'm off to see the GP next week, 2 weeks time, to talk about HRT. Joys of getting old, eh? The joys of getting old. The next thing that I finished and I kept up with every single day of Advent is the Pot Picker's Cowl by Becky Dixon, who's the lovely Bex from Bex Creates and sister of Claire from Bird Street. And she designed this for the Bird Street Advent. So every day you did your stripe of whatever colour came out that day, which was really easy to keep up with, unless this was like the gift that kept on giving, because you did all of that. So that was day 1 there. So day 1 all the way through to day 24. And then you had a main colour, like a full skein of this beautiful so yak Hold the line. Hold please. Because I've got another skein of it here to knit something else. It's called Bare Naked. And it is 70% grey alpaca, 20% silk and 10% cashmere. And it is like butter. So soft. So yeah, so that was like your days 1 to 24. And then afterwards, you just kept, you know, there was extras so there wasn't a lot to do each day on Advent because it can get a bit busy, can't it? So then there was this lovely like eyelet section, and then some lace interspersed with some stockinette, and then some lovely cables, and then you put your yarns in order and did a fade of them, and then this lovely slip stitch. I don't know what happened, somewhere along the line I didn't slip them in the right order and it went a bit doolally, but who cares once it's on. So yeah, so then you did you went back through the fade with this lovely slip stitched and then grafted them together. But when I grafted mine, Hasty Mary here didn't check to see that it was the right way round. So mine is actually a Mobius cowl, but I don't care because it's still gorgeous and it still goes around my neck. Lovely. So that's going to be a firm favourite for this autumn winter. Mind you, the weather at the minute, it was like winter yesterday. It was freezing. I had to put the heating on. Make a nice headband. Let's see like that. Missed me, haven't you? So that was, yeah, really nice sort of Christmas and New Year knit. Got another cowl now. This is the I think it was called the Simply Scrappy cowl from Curious Handmade. And Claire from Bird Street kindly gifted me the leftovers. She had been gifted a advent from Lay Family Yarn 2021 advent from Lay Family Yarn, and she wove Kelly this absolute wove, is that the right word? Yeah, wove, not woven, not weaved, no, wove. Kelly a absolutely beautiful scarf using the advent, and then kindly gifted me the leftovers that she had, so I used it to knit this beautiful scrappy cowl. Again, really easy knit. It was just round and round, and then every now and again you did these eyelet rows. Yeah, so this is by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. I don't know whether I said that. It was part of Knitvent this year. I think it was Knitvent, or was it a free one? It may have been free. Yeah, I think it was free actually. There, so that's beautiful. What we got next? This year this last Christmas, should I say, I got an advent skein of yarn from the Yarn Badger, and it came as 250-gram skeins and two contrast, two little mini skeins, and it's on Sparkle. I don't know if you can see the sparkle. So I've still got one left, and it was called Santa's Rainbow. So it was beautiful rainbow, and instead of doing socks, I did the Everything November mitts by Jen Yard. All these patterns are available on Ravelry. There won't be any show notes. But if you got any questions, just ping me a message and I will answer you. So these are the Everyday November mitts. and they're just a simple 4x2, 4x1, 3x1 rib. I can't see. Oh, that was another thing when I went and got my new glasses. I've got cataracts coming in both eyes, so that's just another joy of aging, isn't it? So yeah, they don't match because I just carried on with the skein once I got the super toasty, really easy fingerless mitts. They would make a great gift if you've got self-striping yarn rather than making socks. Make them a pair of mitts. And so I've still got one left, which I'll crank a tube on my sock machine and make socks out of. Talking of socks, this was a sock tube that I knitted. I actually hand knitted this one. It is a Nicole C. Mendez self-striping, and it was called True Rainbow, I think. I can't remember. I don't know what I've done with the tag. And then I used orange, but I like orange contrast. That you'll only get that if you're in the UK because it's on a advert for Rebels. So I used the orange for the toe, heels and toe, toe and cuff, and then I ran out to do the heels. I made 2 pairs of these. One I gifted to my sister, so she had all orange, but I'd run out of the orange by the time I came to do my heels, so I just used this light blue, which fitted in quite well. Yeah. They can go in my sock drawer now. Next one, we have the Thursday hat, which is a pattern by Jodie Brown, one of the grocery girls. This was a lot of purling, so if you're not a purling fan, but I really like how the decreases came up with the twisted. It was a lot of twisted ribbon, a lot of purling. That's attractive, isn't it? The yarn is Snuggly Stars yarn in the Rhubarb Crumble colourway. Just needs a pom going on it now. I don't know, but I need to go through my pom-pom stash and see. I don't look so much of a village idiot now with my haircut. It's the glasses that are a pain when you wear a hat. Yeah. So that was just a quick in-betweeny project. Sometimes a hat's quite good for that. Just gets your mojo back going, doesn't it? Because you finish something fairly quickly. Last but not least is another sweater that I knit in about 12 days. But it is DK. And it is cropped. And it's covered in hair. So I was watching the Grocery Girls one day and Jodie had on a lovely sweater. She had it all in one colour. And then when I looked at the pattern, the original pattern was done in stripes. And I knew I had the perfect yarn for it. That had been sat in my stash for ages. I am a mill member for John Arbon. John Arbon yarns, are they? Anyway, John Arbon, who are based in North Devon, so they're about an hour away from where I am. Just under an hour. Yeah. Anyway, I'm a mill member, so mill members get special, if they do like a special blend that's like a one-off or something like that, or then mill members get special, special first come for, they get it first, basically. Oh, I can't get words, Lucy, words. Yeah, so this yarn was one of their mill member only yarns, and it was called All Sorts. And it's a DK, worsted DK. I think it was more of a DK. So this is the sweater in all its gorgeous glory. I did put in a knit by numbers. This greeny, this like scummy green is a knit by numbers. This was at All Sorts. This grey was at All Sorts. This pink and the green were All Sorts. And then this is their viola base. This in the English mustard. I know that's English mustard because I've used it in hats. And then I finished it off again with that pink. But I really like this like really deep V. I need to reblock it because when I blocked it, I didn't pin it, so it's not blocked to its full potential. So it's just a tad short. But I really played yarn chicken with the ribbing. The ribbing was supposed to be, the bottom ribbing was supposed to be deeper, but I really played yarn chicken with it. But it could block another inch or so, I reckon, quite easily if I pinned it. So that's what I might do. I'll have to do. Which again, my cutting table is perfect. I can lay my cutting mats, I can lay my blocking mats out now. I haven't got to contend with doing it on the living room floor and my little friends sitting on it while it's wet, because they won't go near knitting or yarn. Not bothered about it at all. When I'm knitting, I can leave yarn out, not bothered. As soon as it's wet and on the floor, that's it, they're all on it. What is it with cats? So this is the Northwoods sweater by Jessie Maid. I should have said that. Jessie Maid Designs. I've knit quite a few of her bits now, and I really like her patterns. They're very well laid out. They're very easy to follow. Really good instructions. Yeah. That's it for FOs. Apart from, like I say, baby knits, and I've got a couple of whips that are baby knits. But I can't show you them, sorry. Sorry. I've only got 4. Do you want to see my lovely, I've got all my stuff shoved in a basket. I bought this lovely basket. I really like the shape. So it's quite narrow, but it's got these fluted bits on it. I got that at Unravel. You know when you see something and you're like, oh, I really love that. And then I went away, and then I came back and it was still there. But it was a bit pricey, so I was like, nah. Walked away again. I was like, I need it. So I went back and it was still there. So it was obviously meant to be, wasn't it? Talking of bags, this is a lovely bag from Moth and Found. She uses recycled, like she finds like old bedspreads and things on, or duvet covers and things like that on eBay and things, and repurposes them and makes these really lovely bags. So they've got like a cross handle, lots of pockets on the outside, like lots of pockets, and then so I just fold the handles down like that, then it becomes like a bucket bag. So in here I have a sample knit that I am doing for Bird Street. Just getting the tags out. And it is a Zweig sweater by Caitlin Hunter. It is tiny. I don't think, other than baby knitting, I've never knit anything so tiny in my life. I would love to be able to knit a two skein jumper, but Claire has asked for it cropped, hence why it doesn't look that big. But it hasn't been blocked yet, so it will block quite a bit bigger. So I will show you where I'm at. I've got one sleeve completely done. 5 inches of ribbing. 5 inches of ribbing. That's how much I love you, Claire. I've done 5 inches of ribbing. So it is in the colourways. It's like, let me switch the overhead lights off a minute. Wonder if that would make a difference. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Oh, I don't know. So it's in the figgy colourway, which it's like an aubergine. So the main colour is figgy, which, yeah, sort of there. And then the contrast colour is ephemera, which is like a, it's almost like a very, very pale, like beigey colour with some brown speckles and the odd like purple. Yeah, like there's some purple. So it's very, very lightly speckled. Forget the ball out. So it's not like a natural. It has been. I don't think it's natural with speckles. I think it has been like dyed with like a very, very, like I say, like beigey. Yeah, this is their tag. Bird Street yarn. So like I say, it was the ephemera colourway in their merino nylon, and the other one is figgy in their 75/25 merino nylon. So I've only got one sleeve to go. Yeah, Claire wanted the body cropped, so the body's only 9 inches at the moment, but again it will block a little bit. So that is the Zweig, Zweig. I've knit one for myself, and I love it, and I wear it quite a lot. It's one of my most worn jumpers that I've got. And the other thing that I sort of like is an active whip really is for like when I'm out and about knitting, is a Musselburgh hat, which I'm almost, I would imagine I'm like 3/4 of the way there with it at the moment. So that's where I am. I think I will always have one of these on my needles on the go, because they're just so useful. Because once you've got past that the initial cast on, it's just literally round and round and round and round knitting, and they're really good for gifts, the Musselburgh. So the yarn is all wool that ends wool, and it's in their spring colourway, again in the 75/25 merino nylon. So yeah, I'm about 3/4 of the way, I would imagine. I haven't measured it. I need to give it a measure and see where I am. But it just stays in my handbag as handbag knitting, really. Right, I'm just going to do a quick pause because we're nearly at 40 minutes and my phone only records in 40-minute increments. And then we'll be back with some dream knitting. It's very exciting. Back. I'm back. Right, so we're now into the dream knitting portion. Dream knitting. I had some really exciting yarn arrive yesterday that I'd pre-ordered ages ago. And sort of forgot about. Sorry for the crinkling. Sort of forgot about. Sorry, there's something weird going on. Oh, okay, that's fine. Sorry, my phone was showing a weird message. But it's recording, I hope. Yes. So, apologies for the wrinkling. And they are blowing out because they are real neon. These are from Spectrum Fibre, and she did a 12-day advent, and last, and I think everybody raved about them, but she only did a small number because she'd just come back off maternity leave, so it's fair enough. She's got a small human to look after. So like I said, they are from Spectrum Fibre, and it's really tiny writing, but so it's a 12 mini skein set, and so she did them as pre-order. So John and Claire from Bird Street Drink have brought out a new collection, the Rococo. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. I'm really sorry. Apologies, John and Claire, if I'm not. But you know when you see a yarn and it's like completely out of their normal wheelhouse, John and Claire do beautiful, beautiful yarns, but they don't do like in your face colour very often. And this one, I saw it online and I was like, no, hold your horses until you see it in real life at Unravel. Holy moly. It's completely out of my wheelhouse. It's not John and Claire's usual beautifully created yarns. This is called Zing, and it is that limey green beautifulness. And when I saw, I don't know what happened to me at Unravel, but I bought very little pink yarn. I was more neons, this oranges. It was like they were a bit worried about me. So I got 3 skeins of this. It's blowing out because of the light. If I try and get it out of the light. Oh, it's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to pair this with these. You ain't going to lose me in a crowd, put it that way. So that is a lot. As soon as I was just like, that's it. That is it. So I was going to do a colour work sweater with this as the main colour, and then just do like a colour work yoke, but I couldn't find anything that I liked that would do justice to this and do justice to whatever I was mixing it with. So that is going to be a Hello from My Colours crop, again by Jessie May. If I remember, I'll pop a picture of what it looks like here. So I've got 3 skeins of this, so this will be my main colour. I don't anticipate having to use all 3 skeins, but who knows. And then my Spectrum will be all the, because it's like different stripe sections of colour work all the way down, like the whole body. So like I say, you're not going to lose me in a crowd, but I don't care. I can see it in my head, and if it's as fantabulous in my head as it will be in yarn form. But do check out the whole. At John and Claire's stand, I was there for ages because there's not one of their yarns, especially their new collection. That new collection is just amazing. And I know I do go on a lot about them, but their yarns are beautiful, and they are beautiful humans who create beautiful yarn. So yeah, I do go on a lot about them because I just need to. So yeah. So I'm really concentrating on getting Claire's sample finished. And once that's finished, like I say, I've got one sleeve to go. Once that's finished, then I am going to cast on to go with the other 11 billion whips that are sat in a pile beside my end of the sofa that don't get touched. Who cares? They will one day. They'll either get finished or they'll get frogged. One of the two. But that is going to be my next cast on, I think. Actually, I lied. I'm going to cast on a pair of stripy socks, self-striping socks, for when we go away at the weekend. Because I just thought that would be easy. I can just knit a tube then. I may take my muscle bra, I don't know. Depends how much more I've got to do of it. But I will be casting on a pair of socks just to have as handbag knitting as well. So that's my dream knitting. Well, one of my dream knitting. The next dream knitting is going to be a sweater for Nigel. I think I've got to that point in life where I feel comfortable enough to knit him a sweater. There's in Cornwall, which is not far from here, but in a place called Launson, or as the locals call it, Lanson. So in Lanson there's a place called Cowslip Workshops. They're predominantly patchwork and quilting workshops and things like that. But every year they have a Christmas fair, and it's no posh, very, very expensive stuff. But occasionally you get the odd gem there that's not that expensive. So it's, like I say, it's about 20-25 minutes in the car for us. It's not very far. So I took the hubster along with me. We had a day out. We went out for lunch and everything. It's like, wow. It doesn't happen very often. So we went across to Cowslip Workshops, and the farm's called Cowslip Meadow, I think. So it's an old farm that they've converted into like this place to do workshops and stuff. It's got a really nice cafe and things. If you're ever in the area, it's worth checking out. If it's, if that floats your boat. But Blacker Yarns were there. And we'd been going through. I'd said to him, did he want a sweater? And he was like, yep, very much like a sweater, thank you. I've knit him socks that he's worn like once or twice, so you better wear this. I will not be happy if he doesn't wear it. So Blacker Yarns, like I say, Blacker Yarns were there. I knew we'd gone through patterns, and he liked the Dustland sweater by Stephen West. It's like an all over texture. How weird's that? Just had a message pop up of Stephen West just put a video on YouTube. Say his name and he will appear. I live in hope. Anyway, so like I say, Blacker Yarns were there. So we knew it was DK, and I'd sort of I worked out while we were there roughly how many balls I would need, because they're only 50-gram balls, I think. Yeah. So it's 100% wool, but it's merino with Shetland. So it's not scratchy. It's beautifully soft to wear next to your skin. So it's the Blacker Swan DK. And he picked the colour. It's teal, it's the colour. And we managed to get a whole sweater's quantity. So I think I've got about 12 or 13 balls, something like that. So that's, yeah. I've got a free bag because I bought so much yarn. So yeah, luckily they had enough. They had a sweater's quantity there. Poor lady had to go run out to a car to get the rest of it. I have 3 more things that I want to, that are my dream knitting in the next few months. The next one is by Les Garçons, who are Max and Dells, who are based in Canada. You know who they are. They did the Volcano Trail cowl and the Snuggle is Real cowl, but they've brought out a new one, fairly new, called the Yeti's cowl. Sorry, just checking my notes. And it's a colourwork cowl, so it's the main colour, and then it's 6. I'm sure it's 6 contrast colours. So I've got myself another skein of the Bare Naked from Bird Street, which is 70% grey, baby grey alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere. And then this is from last year's, they did like a music themed mini skein, or like a club. You can either have mini skeins or full skein. So I opted for the mini skeins, and the first 4 months were 80s, and these are the Club Tropicana. I bloody love George Michael. I had posters of Wham and George Michael all over my bedroom when I was a kid. In my youth, I bloody loved him. Gutted when I found out he was gay. Gutted. And I've seen the toilets where he got caught in LA as well. If you do a tour of the LA stars' homes, they take you there. Because, you know, everybody wants to see a toilet block, don't they? Anyway, I digress. So these are the Club Tropicana. So there's 6 minis there. So I'm going to pair them together to do that. That's going on the needle soon. Rach and I went to, it's called Craft for Crafters. It's like one of these big craft shows where there's like a random array of different crafts and stuff like that. And there's a guy that goes called Brian's Best Wools, and he's just got stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of like packs of yarn like this. And it's all like Debbie Bliss. This is Juniper Moon Farm. Yeah, absolute stacks of yarns. All different weights. So it's a bit of a bun fight. We got stuck in the stall at one point, Rach and I. But it had this. I want to do the Wave of Change pullover. No, I want to do the jacket version, like the cardigan. Wave of Change by Denise Bayron. I'm sure you all know what it looks like. It's the one that's got like garter ridges, and it's a bulky weight. So this is again blowing out. It's more plum, purple than it's showing. It's showing a bit pink there, but it's not that pink. It's more, yeah, like magenta. And this is, like I said, Juniper Moon Farm in the Stratus yarn, and it's one of those yarns that's like a chain yarn that they blow the yarn into. So it is 60% wool, 10% yak, and 10% alpaca, 20% nylon, and the nylon's the tube that, I don't know whether it is or whether it's just chainette. Anyway, it's beautiful, whatever it is. So I got 10 balls of that for 25 quid. Now, bulky yarn in the UK is very expensive. Very expensive. It's not a common, unless it's acrylic. And I didn't want to, I've got nothing against acrylic. acrylic. There's a time and a place for acrylic, but I didn't want to make a garment out of acrylic. So yeah, that's that. And the other thing I want to make, again by Denise Bayron, is the hat Dana. It's like one of those bandana cowls, but you can wear it. I think it's going to be good in the summer, like if I'm out gardening or something. You can wear it as like a long bandana, as like, or like a headband type thing. But I think it'd be good for keeping my hair out of my face and things like that. So that again is going on my dream knitting, but I haven't even. It was only something that I saw today. I was like, oh, that's a yeah. So I haven't picked out yarn or thought about yarn or anything for that at the moment. So hopefully next time, I'm not going to give a time scale because I'm not. I'm hoping to get back onto an even keel and see where we go. It may be once a month, it may be once every 6 weeks, something like that. It's all dependent on content. But anyway, it was so nice to catch up with you all again. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what you have watched. If not, please move along. There are millions of other knitting podcasts out there that will be more to your style, perhaps. But if you could like and subscribe, especially like, because that will get me out there to other people. Give me a little thumbs up. I would be very grateful. Thank you very much. Love to you all. Stay safe. Happy knitting. See you soon. Bye.